In today's vlog, we're out here, we're gonna shoot our bows today, get ready for the early season opener here in September. It's only about a month away, and we're also gonna be talking about these bad boys, trail cameras, and how we use them to help formulate and plan our early season strategies. So this is what happens when you don't shoot your bow for a very, very long time. You have to clear the weeds out of in front of your targets. So we just put trail cameras out in a couple vlogs ago. We got a link to that up above here. But right now is when people start to get that itch to go in there and check them. They've been out about a month. Chance keeps telling me, hey, we need to go check those. I want to go check those. But he goes, I know we can't get in there and check them. And he's right. Don't go in there and check your trail cams unless you've got them in an area that you feel like you can get to without really disturbing things. But on public land, you only get 1 or 2 times to go in there before that big buck knows you're in there. So do not go in there and check them until the season starts. Our plan is to hunt spots near those trail cameras to start the season. And when we do that, we're gonna go in and grab them when we hunt. So Brody mentioned that we're not gonna check these trail cameras until we go in and hunt the first time. But we specifically put these trail cams out during the early season to get a pattern, hopefully, on a buck that we've had a couple years of history with, a real nice buck for public land, a buck we're calling Limpy. Not necessarily our main target buck, not the only buck we're gonna shoot, but hopefully one we get plenty of encounters with. And because we know that this big, old, mature buck lives back here, there's likely other good bucks that live back there too. So we put these trail cams out to kind of surround the area where we think most of the mature bucks are hanging out. We put one on an exit trail leading to an early season food source, one on a scrape near an early season food source, and one really close to buck bedding. So that's where we're focusing on putting these trail cameras during the early season. Try to target those big mature bucks and get a pattern on them. So what happens when it's September 1st, we go in, we pull the memory card, and we've got bucks on camera. So let's say you put that trail camera up on a food source, maybe over some soybeans. You're getting pictures of some bucks, your target buck maybe, but it's at 2, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. You're probably too far away from bedding. That buck's getting there in the middle of the night because his bedding area is really far away. So if you set up early season over that food source, you're probably not gonna see him. So if that's what time your pictures are showing up on your trail camera, you need to move back and move closer to bedding. So that's how you can use these trail cameras, is to look at that time and see if you're close enough to bedding. And if you're getting pictures of bucks in daylight, then you know you're close enough to that buck's bed that you're gonna be able to get them. So just pay attention to the direction of the wind on the date that that buck's traveling past that trail camera, so you know where he's going to be bedding, and once you know the right wind direction, you can go in for an early season hang and hunt and hopefully kill that buck. So when you're looking at those trail cam photos, pay attention to the time of day so you know if you're close enough, and then look back at past weather data and try to figure out the wind direction for possible bedding locations. So what happens if you don't get any target bucks on trail camera? That happened to us. It happens to us quite a bit, actually. Happened to us last year. What we did was we forgot about that spot for a little bit during the early season, but the important thing is to go back to it. Trail cameras are not the end-all be-all when it comes to where the bucks are at. But we went back later in the season and we had 4 or 5 bucks, mature bucks back there, and a bunch of younger bucks, bunch of does. So if that happens to you, don't forget about the spot. Make sure you go back in, maybe do a couple hanging hunts, see if there's bucks moving back there before you totally write that spot off. Trail cameras are a good strategy for the early season to figure out where to start your hunts at. But don't let trail cameras dictate where you're hunting all the time, because they might not be picking up on every single buck that's in the area. So overall, we're using trail cameras in the early season like everybody else is. We might just be using them a little bit differently. We're putting them out in areas to try to pattern bucks throughout the summer, but we're not going to check those trail cameras till we go in and hunt on like the first day of the season. And then once we look at those trail camera photos, figure out what the information is telling us, then we know if we're in the right spot or if we're going to need to move. But don't let trail cameras be the only thing you're using to figure out those early season tree stand setups. You can gain a lot of information from them, but you also need to use the stuff you learned when you're scouting during the season, during last season, and during the summer to figure out if that's the right place to be. Trail cameras will tell you a lot, but they won't tell you the whole story. So we're going to be going out a little bit more in the upcoming month here in August and filming some more velvet. We've had a terrible time of seeing bucks. We've just seen does, but we're gonna go out, try to find some new places where we can film some deer. We're gonna go out with our buddy Drew too. Maybe he can bring us some good luck so we can actually film some velvet bucks so far this year. But thanks for watching. As always, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.